before I get into this review, I want to mention that the channel I'm using this footage from is this channel. I can't pronounce their name, but they upload full walkthroughs of games, and they have playthroughs of the Yokai Watch games on their channel. I can't capture 3DS footage, basically. There's the homebrew streaming method, but the methods it produced, but the quality of the footage is really bad, and I do mean really bad. So I'm using this footage from this channel, and you're probably thinking, oh, Ginger, why not just get a 3DS capture card? They're expensive. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, without any further ado, let's get into the review.
How's that? Think you understand yokai a little better now?
Hello there. My name is Ghostim, and as you can tell by all of this merchandise I've had since I was younger, we're of course talking about Pokemon. Now, just kidding, we're talking about Yokai Watch. Now, this is the point in the video where I would hold up a game, but the game cartridge is in the system, and I don't have the case anymore because younger me was stupid and didn't realize the cases had actual value to them. I played these games on the toilet. Yokai Watch was released in 2013 in Japan, 2015 in America, and 2016 in Europe and other countries. The game when it came out was received very positively, though some just ignored it and called it a Pokemon ripoff. And it got a mobile port and even a Switch version that released in 2020. So, without any further ado, with this overly long intro, let's get into the actual game already. So we boot up the game and, oh, thank goodness. I thought the story about a kid befriending Japanese spirits was true. I'm so glad for this fictitious story warning. Think about this. They put a fictitious story warning in front of a game where a kid befriends spirits. Why? I don't know. So we begin the game in the fictional town of Springdale, and we see Nate's friends going to want to catch some bugs. So apparently that's what Japanese kids do, catch bugs. After we do some non-yokai things, aka catch bugs, we then see Nate's cicada he just caught. He's glowing? Why aren't you questioning that? According to our teacher, we need to go up to Mount Wildwood because there's more bugs there. And then one of my favorite cutscenes of all time plays. Well, it used to be. It's been replaced by something else. I'll get to that in a later video.
If I were a rare bug, where would I be? Whoa, look at that tree! What's this doing here?
Feed me, feed me.
Whoa! What? Who was that? Who said that?
Feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me right now.
Where's that coming from? So it wants me to feed it a coin?
My name is Whisper. I am a yokai. Pleased to meet you. Charmed.
cool, Nate just befriended a ghost. So Whisper is a yokai that's been sealed away in a candy machine for almost 200 years. And then he gives us a yokai watch, which allows you to see yokai because they're invisible ghosts. And we get to immediately use it because we find a yokai called Boo Hoo, and it randomly attacks us for, I don't know, some reason. But for some reason, one of the bugs we catch turns into a yokai named Kaden, spelt with a C. And now we can begin the combat. The combat is really weird. I don't know how to describe it. It's just a very interesting combat system. The yokai attack on their own. Think of the yokai as the students and you're the teacher. One of the things you can do during these fights is Assaultimate. You need to do this little touchscreen based minigame, and it unlocks a powerful move that will deal a lot of damage to yokai. So after we finish fighting Boo Hoo, we actually befriend her, and then Whisper explains that yokai are a part of all of our daily problems and are the cause for it. So if your video gets copyright claimed, yokai is why. Or you just chose the wrong music track or clip. Anyways, Nate makes it home and then sees his parents arguing, so guess what the cause of it is? You were right, it was a yokai named Dismaroda. Unfortunately, the two yokai we have can't beat him, which leaves us with one more option. Go recruit some extra yokai. Yokai can be found in the overworld and in dungeons. And then there's experiments. Just like the Sortiman moves, you have to do a special minigame on the stylus to do it. And it's the exact same thing. So after a while, we eventually meet Jibanyan, the series mascot, and he likes to beat up trucks for some reason. I guess he has some personal hatred for trucks. Actually, the reason is that when Jibanyan was a real cat, he got hit by a truck and his owner called him lame. Okay, so now we're friends with Roadkill. The Pikachu of this series is Roadkill. Why? Anyways, we need to retrieve a photo of Jibanyan's past owner, which he still admires for some reason. Anyways, we befriend Jibanyan, and now that means we have enough yokai to defeat Dismaroda, and it's a pretty easy mini-boss. But apparently Dismaroda was just unhappy with her husband. The same thing that Nate's parents are going through. And then we befriend her. And that's pretty much the basic structure of the game. You go through chapters, fight yokai, befriend yokai, and occasionally fight a boss. Like the chapter after this, for instance, see some yokai are putting in these weird seals to summon this thing. For another chapter, for instance, we have to go find the yokai Kyubi, which by your design, I do not want to look it up on Google because I am just already imagining the results. You people are nasty. Also, we have to fight Massive Face, the fourth boss of the game. This is actually one of my favorite scenarios in the game. The boss fights in this game are great. Like, take Massive Face, for instance. He's a yokai that you need to poke his eyes for a bit, and then they'll close, and then you can have enough time to attack him, and all of his attacks will be dodged. Or the first boss, Slimemander, you need to beat up this part of the yokai for a bit, and then an eye or a tongue will pop out. Oh yeah, and throughout the story you need to rank up your watch. What that basically means is that you need to rank up the watch to see more powerful yokai and actually progress through the game. Anyways, there's two problems. One, you have to actually do these, so it's basically just a lot of pointless padding just to make the game longer, and it gets even worse in the sequel. And whenever I was going to get through an area that I needed to progress through, and I saw that little rank door, it was just an abrupt killjoy. The last thing I want to mention before moving on is the yokai. So the first yokai we have is Shadow Venoct. The only reason I'm mentioning him is because how edgy he looks. Our next yokai is Komajiro. Now wait. That is a reskin of Komajiro. Okay, I don't care who you are. Reskins are just lazy. You could just say, oh, Denton, they have some special attacks, or oh, they're a different rank and tribe. but they're literally the same yokai in design, just with the colors switched around. Okay, I lied. There is one more thing. It's the yokai fusions, but really there's nothing here to talk about. The selection of yokai you can actually fuse is very limited, and most of the stuff you need to fuse them with is only found in the post-game. So a lot of questionable things have been happening. Tons of violent yokai have been popping up. What could be the cause of all of this? After a boss fight against Dr. Matty Man, which is a weird name by the way, one of our yokai, Draggy, we forgot to mention this was a yokai. Through the crystal ball on Draggy's head, we see a vision of a yokai named McCracken and his evil yokai, and it's easy to tell that he's the main villain of the game. Surprisingly, the entrance to the yokai world is next to the place where we first met our first yokai, Whisper. And now, it's time to fight off McCracken, which is actually not the final boss of the game. Anyways, for a boss fight this late into the game, it's actually surprisingly easy. But hey, at least it admits that there are turns in this game. But even after you beat him, his influence has affected all yokai. Now they're trying to break every seal. After a repeated boss fight against Slimamander again. It is pretty neat to see all of the yokai coming to fight all of them to help us. McCracken has been revised, and as you can tell by the music you've been hearing, and the first fight was pretty underwhelming, this is the final boss of the game. He turns into this thing, and this is one of my favorite final boss fights in all of gaming. Let's do this! I would if the boss was a little easier. This finale is amazing. The great final boss, everything that leads up to it, it is one of my favorite finales in all of gaming. And it would stay that way to the day I die. The finale of the game plays while all of the yokai are going back to the yokai world, and I legitimately cried at this bit.
We're now closed for business.
Whisper.
My time as your butler has come to an end. We must now go back to our own world. However, you must not worry. This is not a moment for sadness. I'm sure we'll meet again. And with that, I shall take my leave. Goodbye for now.
Whisper. Thank you, Whisper. Goodbye, my yokai friends.
Oh yeah, they kind of come back at the end so they can make some cash grab sequels. So that was Yokai Watch 1, and I will admit, it's a flawed game, but it's a flawed game I love, and I will continue to love it to the day I die. I don't even have much else to say. It's one of my personal favorite games. It used to be, but it's been replaced by 2, which I'll get to in another video, but play this game now. It's going up in value. Get a copy now. You need to play it. Anyways, my name is Ghostim, and I'll see you in the next review where we'll be looking at some bony spirits, fleshy souls, and psychic spirits. We're looking at Yokai Watch 2 next time on the Ghostem Show.